Using this room.
I'm sorry. This is
It's all it's natural.
The woman currently having a panic attack is 41-year-old Kouri Richins. She's panicking because her brother, 39-year-old Eric Richins, was just discovered moments earlier, dead from an overdose.
Okay. Just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
okay. I gotta breathe. Oh my God, I gotta breathe. I just talked to him like a couple hours ago.
What Katie doesn't realize is that Eric was actually poisoned, and the person hugging her is the one who did it. 30 minutes earlier, when first responders arrived at the house, they found Eric's wife, Kouri Richins, performing CPR and immediately took over. Kouri seemed to be in a state of shock as she watched.
Ma'am, you want to come out here? So what happened today?
We were just fine. We were fine. We had a drink together at 9 to celebrate something at work tomorrow. We went to bed. I went to bed with my kids. He went to bed in our bed.
What time did you guys go to bed?
9:30.
9:30. And then what alerted you to him today?
When I sleep with my kids, I'll wake up and I go back in my own bed.
Mm-hmm.
I just crawled over on his side. He
Where-
was on his back on the bed, and I...
To clarify what Kouri just said, she and Eric were celebrating the purchase of a $2.9 million property for Kouri's realty business, Kouri Richins Realty.
This is a 8.75 acre property. There's a 3,000 square foot guest house.
They each did one shot of lemon drop, then poured themselves a cup of Moscow Mule. They didn't finish their drinks and put them in the sink before one of their sons woke up from a nightmare. Eric went to bed while Kouri went to their son's room and fell asleep there. After waking up about 6 hours later, Kouri went back to her and Eric's room and crawled into bed. She then noticed that Eric's skin felt cold. After realizing that he wasn't breathing, she immediately dialed 911.
Does he have any medical conditions or anything like that?
He has Lyme's disease.
Lyme's disease?
I mean, nothing major. Like,
Okay.
he just said his chest was hurting when he went to bed, but then he just said he was really tired because he got his allergy shots.
The paramedics fought to revive Eric for 90 minutes, but it was too late. At 4:58 a.m., he was officially pronounced dead. Kouri's mom, Lisa, arrived at the scene to counsel her daughter while an officer asked them some questions.
Does he have any history of illicit drug use or anything in the past year?
No, never.
Okay.
My husband's active. He didn't just die in his sleep. This is insane.
Maybe a reaction to his shots yesterday.
I mean, he said he didn't feel good from them. Like,
He didn't look good last night.
he looked pale last night. I asked if you were okay, and he said yeah, but he was saying his chest was hurting.
Both Kouri and Lisa mentioned that Eric wasn't feeling good after he got his seasonal allergy shot that night. But according to the medic that had been trying to revive him, it was highly unlikely that the allergy shot could cause something like this.
We're just waiting for our ME and our detective to show.
I don't know if he had an aneurysm or something with all the blood.
Okay.
There's a lot of blood for some unknown reason. I don't know.
No pulse or anything?
No, he was cold. I think he'd been down a while. Not a long time, but he'd been down a minute.
While the deputies tried to piece together what had happened, more family members showed up at the crime scene searching for answers, including Eric's sister Katie and her husband Clint.
We don't know. We went to bed.
Hey, Clint's here. He's gonna help. Where are my boys? This is the sister. Where's my brother?
He's in this room.
I'm sorry. This is...
It's all it's natural. Okay. Just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Okay, I gotta breathe. Oh my God, I gotta breathe. I just talked to him like a couple hours ago. And he just woke up and he wasn't breathing. I just turned over to cuddle him and his body was just so cold. But I didn't hear anything. He didn't yell. He didn't say anything was wrong. Nothing happened. Like, nothing happened.
Most likely because of his age, his health and everything else.
Do an autopsy.
Most likely.
The autopsy took place later that day, and while the family awaited the results, they held an unofficial celebration of life at the Richins household.
Yeah, come back in the corner with us. There we go.
Look, Chachi so good.
Oh!
You're an Afghanistan warrior.
You are an Afghanistan warrior.
This celebration was just one day after Eric's death, and Kouri and Eric's sister Amy appeared to be having a great time. But the next day, on March 6th, 2022, Amy called the sheriff's office to report that Kouri had punched her in the face when she learned that Eric had secretly removed her as a beneficiary of his estate. He did this back in 2020 after Kouri took out a $250,000 line of credit in his name in order to kickstart her realty business. As a result, Eric placed his entire estate into a trust for his kids and made his sister Katie the trustee.
I miss everything. I miss Chris, Will, everything. I miss Perfect Attorney. I miss everything.
Kouri was arrested and charged with assault for attacking Amy, and she ultimately pled no contest, which means she refused to admit guilt, but accepted her punishment as if she was guilty. Soon after this ordeal, Eric's autopsy results came back, and the medical examiner determined that Eric's cause of death was drug intoxication from painkillers. Over 5 times the lethal amount had entered Eric's bloodstream. This took everybody by surprise. Eric was never into hard drugs and was known to be active and healthy. Kouri immediately called the medical examiner's office to ask some questions.
Hey, this is Kouri Richins. Hey, I just have some quick questions for you. I'm just trying to understand the toxicology report, and I promise I won't take up a ton of your time.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
So the 15 ng, like, is that like a substantial amount? Is that like a trace?
That's a lot. That's a lot of in the blood. Yeah, I mean, that's, people die with half that amount or less in their system.
And then the acetyl, I don't know how you say that.
Acetyl.
Oh. Yeah,
that's just a variant of that is usually only present in the setting of illicitly manufactured. That's manufactured by drug cartels as opposed to by pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, good Lord. So this is like more of like a cartel. No, I mean, that's not what it is.
You call this the street as opposed to,
prescription. Okay, I see. So does this tell you, like, if it was like injected, if he ate it, can you tell from this report?
Not definitively. I mean, it seems like, with what the amount that's there, that it probably was ingested, probably taken by mouth. We still don't know how he got it into him.
Yeah. And I mean, is that anything you could ever find out?
You can't really tell.
Yeah.
Once Eric's loved ones found out that he died from an overdose, they immediately pointed their fingers at Kouri. Apparently, back in 2019, when Kouri, Eric, and their families were on vacation in Greece, Eric got violently ill after Kouri handed him a drink at the bar. He later told his sister that he believed Kouri had spiked his drink. Another incident happened just a few weeks before his death on Valentine's Day. Kouri gave Eric a sandwich, and when he took a bite, he suddenly broke out into hives, had trouble breathing, and passed out on his bed. When he woke up hours later, he texted one of his best friends saying, "You almost lost me this time. I think she might have poisoned me." It sounded like Eric might have experienced a pseudo-allergic reaction, which has the same exact symptoms as a true allergy, but are often triggered by medications. If Kouri really did poison Eric, where did she get the poison from? A search warrant was executed on the Richins property, and the investigators didn't find anything that could explain Eric's sudden overdose. They even tested the cups that Kouri and Eric drank from on the night of his death, and didn't find any suspicious substances. Despite the lack of direct evidence, Eric's family was still convinced that Kouri was responsible for Eric's death. They urged the police to continue looking into her as a suspect, and she was estranged from the family. Kouri called Eric's best friend Bryce to vent about the situation.
Bryce, I don't care about money. It's not a big deal to me. They can have all the life insurance money. They can have anything they want. Take it. Take it. But they can't have my house, Bryce.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know everything, right? I mean, I don't judge you. But I know that.
Bryce, I'm just going to be up. Yeah, I took $250,000 off of our house.
Yeah.
Do you know how much in real estate we own today because I did that? $11 million worth of real estate. Do you know why I did that, Bryce? Because Eric would never let me work. Eric never trusted me in
100%.
believing me. No, but I want you to know that. Would you do it? Would you take $250,000 to make $11 million?
Well, that's tricky, right? Like, The communication was the big thing for Eric, right?
He told me no, Bryce. I believed in myself. He told me no, but I knew I could do it because I know what I can do. Bryce, I own 12 properties that are almost all paid off. He just never gave me a chance. He never gave me a chance because he didn't believe in me. And he can say whatever he wanted. But at the end of the day...
I didn't think they were going to take the house. They're taking the house?
Yes, they're taking my house, Bryce. This is my house.
I know if Eric was still here today, he would say, no, bullshit. I need Kouri to be protected. But unfortunately, he didn't set it up that way. And honestly, I don't even know how he set it. I don't even know. The only thing I know is
so many mean things. So many mean things in it, and I don't care.
It shouldn't be that way.
I am not a bad mom. I am not a bad mom, and Amy told them I was a bad mom.
For some reason, the investigation started to slow down at this point, and over the next year, Kouri struggled to make ends meet. Despite what she claimed on the phone with Bryce,
I own 12 properties that are almost all paid off. $11 million worth of real estate.
The reality was that she was $7.5 million in debt and was paying her lenders tens of thousands of dollars each month. She received $1.3 million from Eric's life insurance policies and took out several risky loans, but this wasn't nearly enough to pay off her debt. She ended up losing multiple properties, including the $2.9 million mansion that she and Eric were supposedly celebrating on the night of his death. Another house Kouri sold back in 2020 turned out to be infested with mold, even though Kouri said that the house had been inspected several times before she sold it. The couple that Kouri sold the house to experienced a plethora of serious medical conditions, and they had to evacuate the home. The couple then sued Kouri and started a GoFundMe to help with expenses, saying that they were financially ruined by this chain of events. In March of 2023, with her life falling apart and her realty business crumbling, Kouri surprised everybody by publishing a children's book. The book was called Are You With Me? And she wrote it to help her 3 sons process the loss of their father. Over the next month, she reached out to local radio stations and morning shows to promote it.
Talking about loss with kids can be a tricky subject. Joining us now is author of Are You With Me?
My kids and I kind of wrote this book on the different emotions and grieving processes that we've experienced last year, hoping that it can kind of help other kids deal with this and kind of find happiness some way or another. It's just comforting to them to know that, they're not living this life alone. Dad is still here. It's just in a different way.
From an outsider's perspective, this seemed like a wholesome book to help children process the death of a loved one. But Eric's family saw this as a shameless attempt to make money off of his tragic death. The same day as this broadcast, the morning show hosts received an email that said, she killed her husband. It would seem that the sheriff's department agreed with this person, because just 1 month later, on May 8th, 2023, Kouri was arrested and charged with Eric's murder. Throughout the first year of investigation, Eric's family wasn't satisfied with the progress being made on the case. So in January of 2023, they hired a private investigator. The private investigator uncovered a mountain of digital evidence against Kouri, including a bunch of incriminating Google searches. How to permanently delete information from an iPhone remotely. Can cops force you to do a lie detector test? Death certificate says pending. Will life insurance still pay? Luxury prisons for the rich in America. What is a lethal dose of fentanyl? The private investigator also looked through Kouri's phone records and found that there were 4 people she spoke to on a regular basis leading up to Eric's death. One of those people was someone named Carmen Lauber. Carmen was a cleaner for the properties Kouri owned through her real estate company. She just so happened to have a criminal history involving illegal drugs and was already being supervised by authorities. The detective assigned to Kouri's case dug through Carmen's trash and discovered drug paraphernalia. They now had probable cause to search Carmen's home. During the search, even more incriminating drug-related items were found. They also found a gun, which Carmen was prohibited from owning since she was a convicted felon. But what really caught the detective's attention was a collage of photos and motivational quotes Carmen had posted on her wall. Smack dab in the middle was a newspaper clipping of Eric's obituary. The sheriff's office had more than enough evidence to arrest Carmen for drug and firearm charges, and they brought her in for questioning. According to Carmen, Kouri had asked to buy pills from her a total of 4 times. The first time was in early February 2022. But Kouri came back to her on February 14th, the same day as the Valentine's Day sandwich incident, asking Carmen for something stronger. More specifically, Kouri asked for that Michael Jackson stuff.
So the thought was insinuated that she wanted you to get something that somebody could die from.
I know one thing, that when we got the ones, it wasn't dark enough. I don't even know how fentanyl really goes.
Kouri asked for pills again on February 26th, just 1 week before Eric's death, and Carmen gave her another batch of about 15 to 30 pills. Then, following Eric's death, before Carmen knew that Eric had died from an overdose, Kouri purchased pills from Carmen one more time. After hearing all about Carmen's illegal dealings with Kouri, the detectives gave Carmen an ultimatum.
They're looking to ask for 7 years. 5 years for the one felony, and then a 40% portion for the second, for 7 years. The only exception to that, and the only thing that they're willing to kind of help you out with, is if you can help us out with this.
And by so, he means like, give us the details that will ensure Kouri gets convicted of murder.
Oh my God.
This is a serious case. I'm not
that's a great moment,
I know, and listen, don't freak out. We need hard details. There's no more.
I'm going to do whatever, because I have struggled so hard to get me where I'm at. I want to do what I can help do, what needs to be done to fix this.
The goal is to convict Kouri for an aggravated murder. These parallel drug investigations, those aren't priority.
Carmen agreed to cooperate and testify against Kouri. She also told the detectives who sold the painkillers to her in the first place, a man named Robert Crozier. Robert was already in custody due to unrelated drug charges, so the detectives brought him in for an interview as well.
How are ya? Confused. I imagine you are. You sold Carmen blues on 2 separate occasions there at the Draper Maverick. As a result, somebody died from that transaction. So we're not interested in jamming you up or anything like that. We're simply here for information.
As far as I know, yeah, I've met her just 2 times. I think I talked to her a couple more times after, but just to see, you know what I mean? Hey,
do you remember how you contacted her? Was it through text messaging, messenger?
I want to say it was through text messages, but I haven't had that. I haven't had it go somewhere the longest time.
Robert told the detectives that he lost his old phone, which had those conversations with Carmen. Thankfully, the detectives were able to obtain his phone records anyway. They confirmed that he was in contact with Carmen on the same days that Kouri asked her for pills. Detectives now had a clear connection between Kouri, Carmen, and Robert, along with damning Google searches and a clear financial motive to kill Eric. The authorities decided it was finally time to take down Kouri.
Kouri Richins is here in the Summit County Jail tonight. We're told she is being held without bail. Investigators say she purchased and then served her husband a deadly dose in a drink. And court papers say this is not the first time she's tried to kill her husband.
Eric was one of the hardest workers I ever knew.
Friends say Eric Richins was one of the greatest fathers out there.
He had 3 boys that he loved more than anything.
He was an avid hunter and loved being with family and friends.
It's been sad without Eric. He loved to hunt, loved to be outside. Very honest guy. He was a great friend.
But in March of 2022, Eric died in his Francis home. Now investigators believe his wife killed him. Kouri Richins, seen here just last month in KPCW as she promoted a book she just released on dealing with grief, is facing aggravated murder charges in his death.
Kouri was charged with aggravated murder for killing Eric and attempted murder for poisoning his sandwich on Valentine's Day. Kouri's family found these charges ridiculous.
Yeah, supposedly you put a love letter on the seat of his truck with the sandwiches. No. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God, they are nuts. Erica's sandwich and put a love note on it, and the sandwich was poison?
Oh my God, I know. Like, no, that did not happen.
Kouri was later charged with multiple counts of forgery and insurance fraud. It turns out that Kouri had forged Eric's signature in order to open up several life insurance policies, which is where her $1.3 million life insurance payout came from after Eric's death. Kouri pled not guilty to all of her charges. At her bail hearing, the judge denied Kouri's bond, and she sat in the Summit County Jail while awaiting her trial. In September of 2023, deputies searched Kouri's jail cell, and they found a hidden letter to her mother, Lisa, with "Walk the Dog" as the title. In the letter, Kouri wrote that her lawyer, Sky Lazarus, wanted to use Eric's frequent hunting trips to Mexico to make it seem like he was buying drugs from there. She outlined exactly what she wanted her brother Ronnie to say during his testimony. She wanted him to say that he had a conversation with Eric a year before his death. During that conversation, Eric told Ronnie that he would often get pain medication during his hunting trips in Mexico. Eric then told Ronnie not to tell Kouri because she would get mad. But eventually, Eric confessed to Kouri and asked her to reach out to Carmen for more pills. Kouri then wrote to her mom, "Reward this however he needs. To make the point, just include it all. The connection has to be made with Mexico and drugs. They never found pain pills in my house because he hid it in allergy bottle in work truck. When you talk to Ronnie about this, meet up with him in person. I worry sometimes your house and phone are bugged. Tell him I need him to do this. Bring me home, and then we will get those damn bitches. Take vague notes of all this, so you remember before you walk the dog." The prosecution said that this letter was clear evidence of witness tampering. No charges were filed, but the letter would play a crucial role for the prosecution's case. At one point, Kouri released a statement from behind bars, asking the world to give her a chance before jumping to conclusions.
The world hasn't heard the real facts of the case, what I've really done, or what I really didn't do. The media's twisted turned what they think they know, or what will sell or get the most views. And it's time to begin some serious damage control. What I've really done is protect Eric at all costs. What I really didn't do is murder my husband. I could not and would not ever do that to Eric, or anyone for that matter. I will not give up. I will not give in. Please, just give me a chance.
On February 23rd, 2026, nearly 4 years after Eric's death, Kouri's trial finally began. The prosecution kicked things off with their opening statement.
The evidence will prove that Kouri Richins murdered Eric for his money and to get a fresh start at life. The evidence will prove that Kouri Richins murdered Eric Richins. The evidence will prove that Kouri Richins had the means, motive, and opportunity to murder Eric Richins.
To end their statement, they presented evidence that on the morning of March 4th, 2022, just hours after her husband's death, Kouri had money on her mind.
Back for a moment to the morning of March the 4th, 2022. Medical examiners place Eric's body in a body bag onto a stretcher, and they wheel him out of his home for the last time. His boys are upstairs with their uncle. Kouri Richins has not yet told them that Eric is dead, and she won't for a few more hours. The last of the sheriff's deputies leave, crime scene techs, medical examiners, and on Kouri Richins' phone, the following 3 images are accessed.
For the defense's opening statement, they decided to lead with Kouri's 911 call, hoping that the jury would empathize with her.
My husband's not breathing. He's just cold. He's just cold. Who's cold? My husband. Can you do CPR? No. You don't know. I'm going to tell you how to. Are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay.
Those were the sounds of a wife becoming a widow.
The defense accepted that Kouri and Eric didn't have the perfect marriage, but they urged the jury to stay focused on the 6 hours leading up to Eric's death.
So those 6 hours, ladies and gentlemen, between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m., somewhere in that time, Eric Richins died. After 4 years of investigation and 5 weeks of this trial, you know what you're never going to hear? Is how that got inside of him. To this day, the medical examiner, the professional that's the head of declaring how people die in the state of Utah, has never been able to determine the manner of Eric Richins' death. Eric Richins' family simply could not accept that. They needed someone or something to blame for losing someone they loved that wasn't Eric himself. Eric's family went and hired experts. They hired experts in toxicology, in finances, in handwriting analysis, paid them all a bunch of money. And now those same people that the family hired are going to appear here as witnesses for the state to testify against Kouri. The only proper verdict to return in this case, which we are going to ask you to return, is to find her not guilty on all charges.
The prosecution started calling witnesses. They began with Kouri Richins and asked her to describe her point of view from the night of Eric's death.
Did there come a time in the early morning of March 4th, 2022, that you received a phone call about Eric?
Yes, it was early in the morning.
Who called you?
My dad did. It's not easy. He was screaming and crying and said, "Eric's not breathing, Eric's not breathing." I screamed. I fell to the floor. My husband heard me and came running in, and we ran out of the house. This was the worst in my life. I'm sorry. When I got there, there was a bunch of emergency personnel, police officers, and Kouri and her mom, Lisa, were there. I walked in, and I saw Kouri standing on the other side of the staircase. She just shook her head at me, and I knew right then my brother was gone. And I fell to the floor. She wasn't crying like I was. She wasn't hysterical. Just stood there and shook her head no at me.
Already, emotions were running high in the courtroom. Even some of Kouri's best friends testified against her. Back in 2022, Kouri's friend Chelsea Barney bought a house from Kouri.
What was the arrangement?
It came down to I would sign the deed of the house, and the house was mine. And I paid a down payment, and I could do what I wanted because I had the deed to the house, but the loan would be under her name, but I would pay the mortgage payments myself.
What Chelsea didn't know is that Kouri never actually filed the deed with the county, so Kouri still owned the house.
When she got arrested, I was informed that there was a loan taken out on my house. I emailed the lady I signed the papers with and asked for copies of the paper, and she told me it was never filed with the county.
You were evicted in September 24.
Mm-hmm.
Why were you evicted?
The new owners kicked me out.
Over the course of the trial, the prosecution called over 40 witnesses, meticulously reviewing all of the evidence that we presented in this video.
Excuse me, I'm having difficulty keeping my head up.
Oh, no worries. Whatever you need, sir, to be comfortable. I'll go back to that. It's going to take her a minute to upload that, Your Honor.
But Kouri's defense team had an answer for everything. For example, another witness for the prosecution was Carmen Lauber. She described all of the times Kouri approached her asking for pills, and her reaction when she learned Eric's cause of death.
Did you ask Kouri Richins about Eric's death?
Yes, I did.
What did you ask her?
I said, please tell me these pills were not for him.
Did she respond?
She did.
How did she respond?
She said, no, they were not. Eric passed away from a brain aneurysm. When they had mentioned that it was from an overdose, that hit hard. Only for the fact that if that's what happened, I needed to step up and take accountability of my part in this that happened and what I was asked for.
However, the defense tried to discredit Carmen's testimony, saying that the only reason she was testifying at all was because she had a plea deal.
You were potentially looking at a long sentence if you were violated in drug court.
Yes.
But in that very first meeting, you said, I'll do whatever because you struggled really hard to get where it is. I'll do whatever it takes. So they say, all right, that's great. We'll go to the prosecutor and we'll try and hammer out a deal for you, correct?
Correct.
Perhaps the most interesting part of the trial was when a man named Joshua Grossman entered the courtroom. When they asked him if he would tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, something unexpected happened.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
Sir, do you swear to tell the whole truth under the pains and penalties of perjury, yes or no?
I won't lie. I'll tell as much in this setting. I assume what not.
Stand right there for a moment, if you don't mind. Can I invite you folks to take a walk for a moment? Please rise for the jury. Have a seat for me, if you don't mind. Mr. Grossman, do you understand the difference between what's true and what's not true?
I do.
Do you promise, under the pains and penalties of perjury, to tell the truth when you're asked questions?
Absolutely.
Once everybody was on the same page, the jury was brought back in and Joshua was asked how he knew Kouri.
Sir, do you know Kouri Richins?
I do.
How do you know her?
We met in South Carolina. She was flipping a house, and I answered, and a help wanted ad.
Did, sir, there come a time when your relationship turned romantic?
Yes.
Joshua and Kouri had an affair for 2 years starting in 2020, and things were getting pretty serious. Looking at their texts to each other, the two were clearly head over heels in love. They often fantasized about Kouri leaving Eric and starting a new life together. While all of Joshua and Kouri's private messages were being aired out in court, Joshua became emotional on the stand.
Sir, would you like to take a break?
I don't know what I need.
Let's just start with that. Why don't we take a pause for a moment, sir.
About 2 weeks after Eric's death, Kouri and Joshua had met back up and were driving around when Kouri asked him a chilling question.
We sat there and talked for quite a while, and it was a heavy conversation. She asked if I had ever killed anybody.
And was that specific to killed anybody while serving in Iraq?
Right.
Did she ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Sir, what was that follow-up question?
She asked me how it made me feel or something along those lines.
And when you were talking about Eric, part of what you were talking about was what a phenomenal father he was, right?
Yes. Phenomenal father. Yeah.
According to Joshua, things changed after Eric passed. His relationship with Kouri slowly fizzled out. When Kouri was arrested, Joshua came forward to the family about the affair. There was no clear evidence that Joshua ever knew about Kouri's alleged plans or involvement in Eric's death. What was clear was that this affair greatly strengthened the state's case. Not only did Kouri have a financial motive to kill Eric, but she clearly had a romantic motive as well. The state was finally ready to rest their case, but as soon as they did, the defense shocked the courtroom.
Your Honor, the state rests its case.
Very good. Ms. Lewis.
Your Honor, after consulting with our client, the defense rests.
Understood. Thank you.
Not only did the defense call 0 witnesses, Kouri herself also decided against testifying.
Do you understand that you have the right to testify at trial?
Yes, I do.
Are you following your attorney's advice and waiving your right to testify at trial?
Yes, I am.
2 days later, closing arguments began. During the state's closing argument, they closely analyzed Kouri's 911 call. It turns out that when the defense played the call at the beginning of the trial,
My husband's not breathing. He's just cold. So are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay.
they only played a small portion of the much longer 911 call. The extended version is much more damning in its entirety. The state put a timer on the phone call to show just how long it took Kouri to begin CPR after being instructed by the operator.
So are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay. Okay, listen carefully. Are you able to lay him on the floor or the ground? On the floor, on the ground? I'm just thinking. I can't touch him. I can't. You can do it. You can do it. You need to calm down, okay? Yellow. We need to help him. I can guide you through CPR. Okay, I'm ready. You're ready? Okay, he's on the floor? He's on the bed. Okay, are you able by any chance to move him on the floor? I don't know what's happening. Okay, just listen carefully. We just need to get him on the floor. Don't worry about hurting them. No, he's just heavy. Okay, if there's a sheet or a blanket under them, can you loosen it from the mattress? I can't move it. It's just dead weight. Like it just... You're not. If he has sheets under, pull them to the floor. Don't worry about hurting him. Can you please send somebody? Okay, I have the ambulance that's on the way. Okay, there's another way to do this, okay? Grab their feet. Okay, go on the floor. You got them on the floor? Okay, just listen carefully and I'll tell you how to do chest compressions, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Count out loud so I can hear you. I'm counting with you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It took Kouri nearly 6 minutes to begin CPR after being told to. In the prosecution's eyes, this wasn't ignorance, it was intentional.
The first minute is not the sound of a wife becoming a widow. The first minute is the sound of a wife becoming a black widow. Listen to how Kouri Richins, on the 911 call, immediately presents her alibi narrative. Listen to how she tells the 911 dispatcher where she was when Eric died. She is distancing herself. Rather than, he's not breathing, he has no pulse, I have to figure out what to do, I need help. She's saying, hey, look, I was not there, I was in my son's room. That's her alibi. The 911 call operator asks her to perform CPR. Notice how she distances herself from that. No, I don't know how. No, he's too heavy. No, I can't move him. She is not immediately trying to revive him. Listen also to her choice of language. She has dehumanized Eric Richins. When she is talking about moving Eric from the bed and she is protesting and she is saying she cannot, she is not saying, I can't move him. She is saying, I can't move it. Eric is no longer a him to him. She murdered Eric. Eric is an it.
The defense, on the other hand, condemned the prosecution for judging Kouri's behavior on the night of Eric's death and urged the jury not to be fooled by their false narrative.
How do you judge someone in that moment? If I've learned one thing during this trial, I've learned I didn't grieve right. I didn't know that, but it's clear now that I didn't. They want you to look at a woman in the worst moment of her life and to judge her grief. Be courageous. Courage is what this moment demands. The courage to stand between a member of your community and the state and demand that they comply with the Constitution, that they comply with their burden. Do not let them fool you. Do not fall for red herrings. Kouri Richins did not kill Eric Richins. The state did not prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt, and you have the courage to tell them this and find Kouri Richins not guilty.
And after 15 grueling days, the trial of Kouri Richins came to an end, and the jury was sent to deliberate. After 3 hours of deliberation, the jury came back with a verdict.
Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of aggravated murder. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of attempted aggravated murder.
Kouri was found guilty on all charges.
Outside the courtroom after Kouri Richins was found guilty on all charges, the cousins of Eric Richins tell me the type of person Eric truly was.
Amazing father, brother, son, nephew, friend. He was everyone's best friend. Everyone that you ask, how do you know Eric? I was his best friend. So he was an amazing person.
As of the release of this video, Kouri Richins is still awaiting her sentencing. She is facing 25 years to life in prison for the aggravated murder of her husband, Eric Richins. Her sentencing is officially scheduled for May 13th, 2026, the same day as Eric's 44th birthday.
A recently unsealed search warrant shows Summit County Detective Jeff O'Driscoll investigated those close to the couple, including Kouri's mom. He discovered back in April 2006, Lisa Darden's romantic partner died unexpectedly. The cause of death ruled drug poisoning from an overdose of oxycodone. O'Driscoll wrote further investigation showed that Lisa Darden had been named as the beneficiary of her partner's estate a short time before her death. The detective would go on to write in the search warrant, based on Lisa Darden's proximity to her partner's suspicious overdose death and her relationship with Kouri, it is possible she was involved in planning and orchestrating Eric's death.